So till now we have done the configuration. Okay, we understood the concept of what is the certificate, what is message persistence, and what are message container. Okay. Today we will be trying to configure the HCI OData adapter, little bit OData adapter, and to trigger that OData adapter through our browser. Okay. So, do you have any background? Means you guys have ever worked on OData? Before even going to OData, do we have any query for the things which we have learned till now? Any questions? Anything? Because just wanted to know from you a little feedback. That, am I going at the right pace? Is it fast or is it slow?
No, it's good, Tanak. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's fine as of now.
Okay, it's understandable now because what we are
And
till now.
you sent the
Yes,
course
sir, please.
curriculum also, no? Like in course curriculum, like then on what topics we have covered till now and what topics we left out. I want to see that we don't have the course curriculum.
Uh, you must have had, na? The first day.
Can you show to
Uh,
us in the screen actually now? Can you share your screen? No, just show to us once. We'll see.
uh, no, means I have done the. Yeah, I have that document, but Bharat must have forwarded that. Not an issue. I will be forwarding that document back to you. We have one second. Let me share that screen, and I will show you right now what we have covered. Just in 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So like this is the curriculum. Hello, hello. Hey, you guys are there? Hello.
Yeah, yes, Tanak. Yes.
Okay. It's an everyday. So this is the thing. So till now we have done the integration. We understood the what is the start, what is the introduction of integration. We have completed uh, what is the overview of HCI, what are the capabilities of HCI as compared to PI, architectural view we understood, technical system, and we have created our first scenario. We have understood the uh, integration content, standard integration content. Now we know what is web UI, what is Eclipse UI, what is cloud platform, what is HANA Cloud Connector. HANA Cloud Connector I have still to teach you. Okay. Uh, we have understood these things like what is camel modeling, what is data transformation, mapping, content-based routing. We will understand in this upcoming classes. Okay. Uh, so we have completed the major thing of message persistence and message container. Okay. Those were the things which had to be explained in detail. Okay. And we have done some adapted details of SOAP and uh, SOAP, the major one which I did today till now. I will be showing IDOC we will be showing in the practical sessions. OData we will be completing it today. Apart from this, I will be showing on the success factor adapter and other adapters for that I will be uh, giving an overview. Okay, so till now we have completed 50% of the course of what I had to cover in this session. So it's almost 50% it is completed, and in next 50% it is the advanced part which is left for us. Okay, that is to be done. Okay, so that will be covered in this, and next week we will be covering up whatever things are left. I will be trying to complete each and everything whatever we have till this 1st or 2nd of May.
Sanat, did we lose you? Are you there?
Yes, yes, sorry. So once in the session it had to happen, my connection will lose. Okay, so I was saying, one second. I was saying we have completed almost 50% of our course, more than that. Now in this week until the coming week, upcoming week till 1st or 2nd, we will be trying to cover up all the portions, whatever the portions which are to be completed. And on this weekend, we will be having longer sessions. That would be, means again, 2 hours to 3 hours. We will be taking the longer sessions on this weekend. Okay. So that we can complete those things by 1st or 2nd of this May. So that is okay. Bharat, can you make presenter back? Hello? Hey guys, am I audible now?
Yeah, Nath, you're audible.
Yeah. Bharat, can you make a presenter, please? Quickly, we can jump on to today's session. Uh, just continue. second. Bharat, you're there on the call? Hello. So this is, if the screen is visible to you, we are creating a scenario where we will be triggering a message from an SOAP sender, because we have no other option to trigger a message. SOAP sender is what we have with us, the boomerang, okay, or the SOAP UI. We will be triggering a message from SOAP sender, and we will be sending it to the OData adapter, okay. And from OData we will be getting some response, and then again that data would be converted back to a SOAP, and the response would be sent to your boomerang server, okay. So we will be doing a configuration in our Eclipse, okay. Let me first configure the full scenario, and then I will give you the background of what exactly the OData adapter is. Okay. So I'm just closing this folder one. This is the, and you, after the configuration, you will understand how simple and how manageable your OData adapter is. Okay. So let's create one new project. Okay. If someone can help me to navigate to create a new project, then great. How do I create a new project in my Eclipse? Hello? Anybody?
File, create new project.
Go to file, new project, go to file, new project, new project.
I'm giving name after this. Yeah. Now,
And here we need to give .com or something.
where? In the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it. That is my. This is the nomenclature which.
Whatever. I'm not giving it later.
Yeah, correct. So this is my nomenclature, which I follow. It would be simple ABCD also, but this is nomenclature I follow. Thanks for correcting me. Okay, I'm clicking on next. Okay, now in general we select the point-to-point channel template. There are other templates also, like the content-based routing or the content-based routing on the based out of multiple interfaces, multiple receiver, okay. Whichever works your suits you, you can select that. Or and you even after selecting this, you can delete that also. So let's say I have selected content-based routing multiple receiver, and I have clicked on finish. See. I will be created with one full iFlow with this type of template. You have this content-based routing, and you have multiple receivers. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth router, it's an end of message. Okay. After third, the fourth one is end of message. Okay. But I can delete that. It doesn't matter. Okay, I can delete these receivers, and I can make it point to point. Okay, not a big thing. But you should select point to point one as uh, your template, because it's very simple. It's directly you can do that. Okay. So this is again your point to point. Okay. So now let's do the sender configuration. Can anybody tell me what sender configuration do I need to do? Okay, the sender, and because it is same as what I did in last class. Okay, so what all things do I need to do, or do I need to configure in Eclipse?
To configure
Hello.
WSDL file.
Sorry?
Import WSDL digital file.
No, that is not required in this. Okay. The WSDL file that is required to authenticate your sender structures, means if you have a standard structure data which is coming from a system and you want to verify or validate if the structure is correct or not from the sender side, then you import the WSDL and you configure the WSDL in sender adapter. But let's say in our case, in this one, there is no specific structure which is coming to your HCI. Okay, so we won't be importing WSDL in our Eclipse. Now at the receiver end, you will be amazed that the structures for OData will be created by itself. We will see how that it is created. Okay. So first of all, the sender side configuration. So let's say again, I will say SOAP boomerang. Boomerang. Yesterday I told you how to validate my sender, and that is done by certificate based authentication. Okay, so let's import this certificate. Okay, this GOIP certificate will work. That is the same certificate. Okay. Now I will go to channel configuration of sender. I need to give a name. Okay. With required description, I will be providing your adapter type. It would be same SOAP adapter. Okay, keeping the message protocol as 1.x. Okay, you have the SAP RM message protocol also, which is specific to the um, SAP Cloud Solutions. So there you can provide the SAP RM reliable messaging that is very specific to SAP solutions. Okay. Then you go to adapter specific. Now in adapter specific, you have to provide one address. Okay. So what is that address? Let's give slash demos of data. Okay. So this is the URL which I gave. Okay. It would be uh, it is the suffix of my full URL to this runtime URL which should be generated. Okay. Here I'm not giving any WSDL, so I'm keeping it as manual. Okay. Uh, message exchange pattern, it is request and reply type. So I would be uh, getting a request and reply response. Okay. User authentication, again certificate based. Okay. So I will browse to the same location. I'm just taking those certificates, and my sender adapter configuration is done. It's quite simple. I just need to provide one URL. Okay. Now coming back to my receiver system. So in the receiver adapter, it is OData adapter. Okay. So let's give it a name. Uh, okay. And you have the OData adapter. You can take from the list OData adapter, your HTTP transport protocol, again HTTP, your message protocol, OData version V2. Okay. For this is the message protocol specific to our OData adapter. In SuccessFactor, you have some other message protocol also. So let me go take you to SuccessFactor adapter. Okay, the transport protocol is over HTTP itself, but the message protocol contains a list. So will it be SOAP? Will it be REST? Will it be version 4, OData version 4? And will it be OData version V2, version 2? Okay, so we could have done, we can take any of this based on the services which are exposed at the SuccessFactor. So if it's a SOAP adapter, okay, SOAP as your message protocol, then you will be having the same uh, address and credentials required, and a uh, operation requirements. Operation is something we create a query at the receiver end, which will help you to fetch the data from the uh, receiver system. So in the OData also it's same. Okay. See, the OData it is the same. But apart from this, you need the data center, where exactly the data center is, which is the address, what is the address, the same address, and you will create your operation, get operation directly here. Okay. We will understand that in detail in the OData adapter. Let me quickly take you to OData, and we will configure this. Okay. So now this is your OData adapter specific configuration. Okay, so here it's requiring an address. This address should be for the OData services. So your OData services can be any of it. You can have your database, you can have your ERP. Those can expose their database of their data using OData provisioning. Okay, so OData provisioning they export. If you have heard of gateway services in SAP, so the gateway service is also kind of OData, where you expose the backend database of your SAP through OData. Okay, uh, through your OData. Okay, so for this, I have to get an open OData testing server. So I have one OData testing server. Just getting that URL. It's Northwind server. Okay, Northwind server is an open server. Let me show you. Northwind. So this service allows you to test your OData services. This server allows you to test your OData service in your middleware or anything. In your middleware or in your network. If you are testing the OData services, you can use this Northwind OData services. Okay, so you can go directly to this URL. Okay, and you have one WSDL or the structures present. But in this case, in the OData service, we don't require WSDL, we don't require XSDs, or we don't need to specify anything. We don't need to do mapping for the querying the data. Okay, we can directly query the data in the adapter itself. So let me give the URL. So this is the address of my OData services. Okay. Now what type of proxy is this? Is this internet or on-premises? So OData services, you can also expose your backend system through your gateway services. For that, I will be specifying this as on-premises, but it's on internet, so I'm selecting internet. Again, the authentication type, it's none. Okay, no requirement of user ID or password here. Okay, now you have the operation detail. Okay, so what type of operation are you performing on this OData? Is it a query, get data, update data, merge data? So we can do multiple tasks on that OData services. Okay. Is that this is an open service, so only we can get the data. Update data and query data also we will see. We will try to create a scenario for that. Okay, but that is not directly achievable. Okay. Now for the source path, just click on the model. Okay, the source path, you just need to click on the model option operation here. Okay. And it has by default taken the address which I have provided here. So this is the one. You just need to click on next. If it is your success factor adapter, then you need to provide the user ID passwords also. In case it was success factor, then you had to provide your credentials for accessing that OData service. But in our case, it is free and it is open services, so no user ID password. Click on next. Okay, and you will see the list of operations which you can do on this services. So what your this HCI did is it went to that service and fetched all the operations or all the entities which are available on that OData service and shown us here. So let's say in our case we will be taking the orders one. Okay, order data, and I'm clicking on next. So for order data, we can query that server for employee ID, customer ID, employee ID, freight ID, uh, order date. Okay, so whatever we want, we can query. Okay, so in the lower end, you will see a query being built up automatically. Whatever I'm selecting, a query is getting built up. Okay, so see, I have selected customer ID. So order from the order database, it's the order table. If you understand the SQL query, it would be quite simple to understand. And SQL queries are very simple to understand. Okay, so your order is your table. So from order table, select employee ID. Okay, this is employee ID, freight, order date, order ID, all. I'm selecting all. So these things, your query is being created. Okay, now in an query, it is divided into 4 parts. Okay, which table, what are the selection, what are the fields you want to select, which selection criteria you are using, means there would be a where clause. So if you click on next, there would be a where clause or filter by. You need to filter whereby by the already existing fields. Okay, so you have the order ID, freight, order date. So let's take the order ID. Okay. If you want to have a where clause, then okay. Or if you want all the data to be populated, so just click on next sorting based on the order ID. Sorting is means whatever the response or whatever the data we were getting from the OData adapter, it is required to be ordered or means it needs to be sorted at the receiver end, okay, in your HCI. So that is again sorted based on the order ID. And now I am clicking on finish, okay. You will see two files created, one IDMX EDMX. EDMX file is your, it would be your simple or your WSDL file, kind of WSDL file, and you would be having your XSD file. So see, these two files are ordered. No, of this. No, this is not my scenario. Data adapted. Yeah. So here you'll see one EDMX file. Okay. Okay, let me open that EDMX file. This is an XML file, okay, which contain my full structure of my OData. And one in under my WSDL file, I have the full XSD, full end-to-end XSD. It is generated. So I didn't need to import this. It is done automatically, and it it is means we are just using it. Okay, so we have an order uh, scenario. Okay. Okay. So coming back to over this one. Okay. So you will see one query automatically generated here. Okay. Hey guys, you are there, na? I'm not speaking alone. Hello?
Yes, Anant. I'm
You are there, na?
Yeah, yeah, we are
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, everybody.
Okay. So this is a query option. You have a query automatically generated here. Okay. Okay. You can see a full query here. And the resource path. Resource path is nothing but your table from where on the receiver end, from the OData end, this would be the table, and on this table, your HCI would be querying for this fields. Okay. Let's save it. Okay, let me save it. Let me check for execute checks for any error. So it says passed. There are no errors in this. There is some warning. So you can navigate there and you can see warning. So it says OData P2 receiver drops attachment. Okay. So in the payload from 1 to 2. But OData does not support attachment. Then your SOAP 1.x supports attachment with the messages. So this is simple warning. We can ignore this. Okay. This won't affect our scenario because we are not sending any attachment through our SOAP. Okay. Now let me go to my boomerang. Okay. Okay. And I have a service for OData
Is
adapt.
Sanat, attachment means what you mean to say here?
See, attachment is something like your mail attachment. Okay, your if you are sending through your SOAP, there is an also thing which is supported in one called attachment. Okay, specific tags under which you can uh, save your data, like your any file, doc file or anything that can be sent over your SOAP uh, SOAP protocol. So that is not supported in your OData protocol. Okay. So that's why the warning was populating in front of you.
Okay.
Okay. Now again, if someone can let me know how to get the URL of my OData adapter. Means I have created one URL. I have given the name /demo /HCI /HCI /demo /OData. So how to get that URL, endpoint URL, from where? Anybody? Because that these things you might have not have done because you don't have the internet, but still if someone remembers, it's well and good. Anyway, so what you can do, you can go to the worker node. Here, worker node, go to property. Okay. In this services, you will find all the endpoint URLs which are being generated by your HCI. Before going to this, check if your scenario is deployed successfully or not. So go to your artifact monitoring. Okay, check here. So it is not updated. So there is some issue here. Okay. See, that is not available here. Your training.demo.odata HCI.odata which I created just now. It is not deployed. So let's do a quick so with this new one, let me check if I do provide the crystal. Because many a times you won't get an error also. So see, what I did, I just deployed it in the integration content. Okay. Did I deploy or did I not? I didn't deploy it, no?
Not deployed.
Okay, sorry. So now here you will see the deployment is done. And there are many a times that your deployment will be successful, but your OData, your iFlow won't be showing in your deployed artifact. So you need to do the troubleshooting yourself where it is having error or something like that. Okay. Now go to your deployed artifact, refresh it, and you will see one OData artifact.iflow training.com.demo. Your iFlow is being deployed. It is deployed by my user ID and just now. Okay. Now I want to get the endpoint URL. So I will click on this, click on property services, and I will search my iFlow here. So training.com.demo. And there is no direct search option here, so you have to run like this only. It's not showing here. Yes, game. Yes, this is the one. Okay, refreshing game. So we created that path called /HCI/demo/OData test. Let's copy this endpoint URL. Okay, I'm going to my boomerang. Okay. In my boomerang, what I'm doing is I'm just sending a simple test XML. This XML denotes nothing. I am not sending any data. This is just a test data. I will be getting a response. Means I'm just triggering the XML. I'm keeping this also blank. This order number also blank. And I'm just triggering it because we haven't done any hard coding or any what we say where clause we haven't provided in our OData adapter. So it will provide us full all the options, which all the orders which are available at the receiver from the OData server. So see, in response, you will get, see, we have got all the orders and that too arranged based on the order ID. Okay. So you have this order number 1028248. You have the order 10249. So your full response is sorted based on the order ID. Okay. And this are the orders which are available on the OData services. Okay. So this is simple thing. Okay. Let's do a query on this. Okay. So query means a where clause on the OData adapter. So I'm going back to my OData adapter. Okay. We'll go to the adapter specific settings. I will again go to the modeling. Okay. And click on next. Okay. Whichever function I have to select, I will select in this, I will say orders. Okay. I will select all these things just for the reference. And in this case, we will be having our where clause. So how to do the where clause? Order ID operation equal to greater than equal to less than equal to not equal to. So these are the static functions which are there for your query. So I'm just taking equal to. Let's say a text and I'm doing a hard coding. So 10250. Okay. Just a simple one again. 10250 add and 249. Okay. Again add. So I have given 250 first and 249 second. And then next I have added. So my query is updated. See, there is a filter. Order ID equal to 10250 and order ID 10249. Click on next. Let's sort it based on the employee ID. So now I'm sorting this on employee ID. Click on add. Click on finish. It will say you have an already existing XSD file. Okay. Your EDMX file, it will be same for all the scenarios in your OData, but your XSD file would be different for different scenarios because your XSD file contains the query itself. Okay, so it is now again creating a query. So it will be saving a new file rather than overwriting the older one. Okay. So you will see under my XSD, I have one more file. Okay, get one. Okay. If you want, you can do a custom query also. You can add a custom query if you have a custom scenario. They have given a custom query option also. Okay, you can move your mouse here to get the GL data. Okay, so enter custom query in format, option, value, and separated by this. Okay, and custom query options for connecting your ER. Okay. So it is for custom options, custom configuration, this custom queries used. But in our case, we are not using any custom configuration. It's all standard. So let's save it. Okay. Go to your model configuration, execute checks, no error, deploy it. Okay, deploying it and checking if it's deployed successfully or not. It was deployed 852. See, this last equal is get 52. So now again going to my boomerang, and from my request one, I have given this URL. Okay. This one I'm keeping the same URL. I'm sending the data, and see the response is 0. 1 second. There is some error in my query. Let me check. Okay. Or I should have written or, sorry. Very strong. Let's take one at a time. Okay. Order date, order ID. Okay. 102.0. And next. Now there is only one response, then so I'm not doing any sorting criteria. I'm not adding any sorting criteria. Just finishing it, saving it, going back, saving it, security checks, deploying it. Okay. Now I will be preparing a message. The same message I will prepare. Then I got a response for a single order ID. Okay. So see, this is now kind of hard coding we have done in the in our OData adapter. Okay. Now, if in case we need to take the dynamic one, what we will do tomorrow in tomorrow's class, we will take the dynamic one. We will be taking the order ID from this one. I will be providing 102419, and we will be understanding. Sorry. And you will see the response we get. Because as of now, even if I send this one, I will be getting a response for 10250 because that is hard coded. See, still I am getting the response for 10250 itself. It is hard coded. But tomorrow we will see how to get this one dynamically and do the configuration. For this, we will be understanding the content modifier and variable substitution. Okay. So how do we do the variable saving and those things we will be completing at tomorrow. Okay. But as of now, let me explain OData adapter and where exactly this OData would be coming in handy. Okay. So OData adapter now, OData adapter is very widely used in the market. Okay. It is used by your mobile applications. It is used by your cloud applications. Okay. To expose means to expose or to query the backend data. Okay. Whatever the database is. Let's say you have a web service. Okay. Which means you want to expose your web service or your backend database through your OData adapter. So what you will do, you will create a layer of OData provisioning over that database. Okay. Just like you have the gateway service, just like the OData provisioning with your HCI or any third party. With they will do is what they will do is they will take all the structures, whatever the sector structure is, your structure, which is created in the database, and uh, they keep it to the gateway level so that you don't need to ask for the WSDL or XSD file each time you configure that. It is already incorporated in the OData provisioning. Okay, so you have already seen in my today's configuration that I did not ask any, or I did not downloaded, or I did not went to the server to download the WSDL file to access that server, to access that services or data services. Everything was already provided. I just had to go to that adapter, and I had to go to the modeling and my structures, my query. It is created, it was created by default for me when I completed that. So the error, the margin of error also reduces because you know what all things are available, which all fields are available directly at the live scenarios. Okay, and on what basis you can do the query, where clause you can deploy. Okay, so all those things are already there. So the margin of error is very less, and your configuration is very simple as compared to the one which we did for the SOAP part. Okay, so any questions for me? This is very simple scenario for our data, and the same scenarios would be there for the success factor also. So you can just imagine that the configuration which we is done for the OData adapter, it is very less, and that too it is standard one. For the prepackaged content, you have the query also created by default by your SAP in your HCI. So you have to do nothing. Okay. Even in this OData adapter, we was quite basic and simple. Okay. So any questions for me today, sir? Or it was simple, all understandable?
Whether we can use this XST in mapping. So
Yes, sir, surely. So let's take transformation. Yeah, we can do the mapping. To answer your question, we can do this. I use this XSDs in the mapping. Okay. So see, you have this XSDs available. Okay. So you can take any of the XSDs here at the target, let's say this, and you can do a mapping in between the two structures. Okay.
yeah,
It answers question.
yeah. So anyway, it's possible to generate the scenario as a API service.
API service, as in?
This scenario. So say example, we need to create a URL. So just I'm comparing Delbumi with this. So
Okay, okay. I thought it's not directly possible in the API server. You have an API management here, okay, which do your which keeps the record of all your API which you have exposed, let's say your OData and that. But for for OData provisioning, for this API management, you have to get your extra access, means that they have shown if you have gone with the uh, HANA Cloud Platform, then there would be something called API management tool, which is apart from your HCI. Okay, so in that you will be able to manage all your APIs.
Okay. So
Directly
this
here,
can
it's
be
not possible.
configured. This can be configured over there, or that is totally different.
No, it can be configured there.
So this scenario can be called over there. That's what I
Yes, yes.
understand.
Yeah, yeah. All the scenarios that would be in the API management, all the exposed scenarios would be available there. But sorry, I cannot show you because this one does not have the API management because that was recently provided by SAP.
Oh, okay. So same way, a variable parameter can be configured. So
Variable parameters, I don't remember exactly.
example, so whatever you say, the order. So in runtime, so we can, so who we will be doing in the real time scenario. So we can
Yes, yes,
create the
yes, yes,
order.
yes, yes. Yes, 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 the same thing. Variable parameters, correct.
Oh, okay.
So you can do your mapping also here in one of the exercises. I have not selected all the things. So you can do mapping and you can do whatever you want with the structures with the X. Saving it as
Any possibility to show us the how to create a API, single API?
I could have given I can give the document for that, but I cannot show in the live scenario.
Yeah, okay. At least
I'm saying
document will
means,
be, yeah.
yeah, I will try to get the document for you. I have that in my other system. I will try to get that. If that is not formatted, I will try to get the document for you. I had that one.
No.
Uh,
Okay.
so any other questions, sir?
I'm good. Thank you.
Sanat, can we do
What
a
about the?
on-premise
Yeah.
to SuccessFactors?
Sorry?
Can we do a scenario like on-premise to SuccessFactors?
I don't have access to SuccessFactor. I have access to C4C, but I would be showing on-premises to SuccessFactor as in theoretical session. Okay. Theoretical kind of configuration also I will be trying to do because from on-premises if the data is coming, let's say in an web service or the same thing means for on-premises also, if you do the SOAP configuration, SOAP adapter configuration, it would be same as it is shown here, identical. Okay. Nothing different, nothing at all. There would be any difference from what I have done today. Okay. So you can think of it as your on-premises to SuccessFactor. Your you provide the address to which your on-premises system would be sending the data. If required, you can do the WSDL, but on-premises system, we don't expect any WSDL from them. Okay. Then we import the certificates from the on-premises system. Okay, so they provide us the certificates. Okay, then going to my success factor, what I do, I go to the OData adapter. Okay, and under this OData adapter, instead of providing this open source OData services, I provide the SuccessFactor URL. And apart from that, all my query or all my logics will be predefined by SAP. If I want to add something, I can add something, but I, if not, then I can go with the already existing queries and the data would be transferred from my on-premises to my success factor. So it's kind of an simple scenario for our OData, but it covers so many things. Your OData would cover the your mobile integration. There would be so many mobile applications which are accessing your OData. Okay, so your mobile integration It would be covering your success factors also, okay, and your means OData provisioning also. You will be understanding OData provisioning, what exactly OData provisioning. In the last class, little bit I have to give the overview of OData provisioning, okay, and yes, so success factor I would try to get the access, but as of now I will be showing the theoretical class only for that. For success C4C, I will be showing you each and every step from scratch for that. Okay.
And source system, can we try to SAP to OData? I just want to check.
As a, yeah, so configuration is same. Yeah, I will try to do that, but the configuration is same. Same is that this. For the sender adapter, for the data which is coming from sender to HCI, there is hardly anything you do the configuration. Let me show you the IDOC adapter configuration in the sender end. You will be amazed. See. Okay, so now this is your IDOC adapter. This is again IDOC SOAP protocol. And here you just provide your address. Nothing else, nothing more. You're getting me? Means there is no other settings which you do here in your HCI for receiving your IDOC from your ECC system. Nothing. Your address and your user role. That's it. So it is the same for your SOAP also. Means when the data is coming from the ECC in case of SOAP or means any other protocols, let's say SOAP or RFC. For that also we will be providing an address and user ID password based type of authorization we need to do, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay.
That's like what will be the connectivity like SAP to HCI tenant?
There would be majorly two types. One is your IDOC, means IDOC, you are sending the IDOC to HCI. You are sending the data in case of web services too. Third is you are placing a file on some SFTP server, and then from there you are picking up the file. HCI is picking up the file. So these are the three standard way, okay, for connecting to your ECC. So there is no proxy which is there in your your PI. Okay. Okay. Is it clear, Pradeep? I thought it was Pradeep or who was that? Hello? Yes, I am.
Clear. Yes, I am.
So if not, then can we make up tomorrow? If there are no questions, I will be sending the document for this OData adapter today itself. Okay. Before the class, tomorrow class, try to configure this scenario. Okay. Uh, Again, I have all the screenshots and all the things which are required to this. And whatever all the things which are required, all the steps are there in this document. You can create your own adapter, own iFlow, and try to check all the if there are no checks error and save it and show, let me know if it's work if there are any errors so that we can try to resolve it by tomorrow class, before tomorrow class. Okay. Okay then, let's meet up tomorrow.
Yep.
Pradeep, Sayam, bye, Shankar, Vijay.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanath.
Thanks. Thanks, Hardik. Bye.